If you're tired of mainstream media outlets selecting news stories and events that don't appeal to Black America, then become a member of the Unbossed Network today, where we are the voice of Black America and providing coverage of events and news stories that you won't hear anywhere else. Visit theunbossednetwork.com to become a member today.
Kiara, so walk us through who this wolf guy is. Not just who this wolf guy is. How did he end up on the wrong side of the table, so to speak, or the street?
Well, essentially from being a wolf in sheep's clothing. So we noticed from day one, in the beginning of the protest, we would see him a lot. He was running with Black Freedom and filming and doing things for Limitless Video. But then it started becoming problematic. He was starting to like shout down protesters at the events, instigating with the cops, but then sucking up to the cops when people weren't paying attention. The most recent thing that was really disturbing, on top of the laundry list of things that he'd been doing, was that there was that incident downtown at City Hall. I wasn't there that night, but there was a skateboarder that went by and maced the crowd, trying to create chaos. And then about 5 to 10 minutes later, here he comes right to the scene, like directly to what was going on to film. And several witnesses said that that was the same guy that rode by on the skateboard. So with all of that going on, people confronted him about it, and it ended with him threatening people and, you know, saying that he's going to get violent with us. He threatened Bubbles. It became a complete mess. And, you know, he doesn't want to listen to Black women, especially, let alone Black people. So it's just a detriment to the movement. And he's become a bit of a headache and a nightmare. Oh, I can't hear your audio.
I think you might be.
Oh, I'm sorry. So, yes, he has become a bit of a pain to us, and I sort of went down a rabbit hole on Monday with trying to find out more information about him. And as I went down this rabbit hole, I noticed that he stopped broadcasting on Facebook, and he started broadcasting exclusively on Periscope. And as I went down, through his Periscope page, I didn't watch all of his videos. I watched literally like 10 videos for 30 seconds. I noticed that he had on this red bandana, and then I listened to some of his language, and I said, whoa, that sounds a bit alt-right to me, a little bit Clintons like, and yet he was out here saying he was for the people. For what people? Not for Black people, if I can recollect. But Bubbles, he went after you very directly. Tell us about that.
Well, from day one, we've been two of the main people out there with our cameras always on.
All right. All right, it looks like we've Bubbles, we can't hear you right now. We've lost audio with you. So as he's trying to figure that out right there, so basically in this video clip, it was taken from a broader live stream, but he went after Bubbles by saying Bubbles was just in this game documenting and getting video to make money off of it. And Bubbles is one of the last people who would want to make money off of this. I'm saying this because now I know him. I've tried to get the guy to move off of his personal Facebook page to his fan page because his videos, his streams gets hundreds of thousands of views. Not only that, I've tried to get him to post them on YouTube so more and more people can see what's going on, and he's refused to do it, telling us that, hey, look, I am not in this to make money. I'm just in this to make sure the story gets told accurately from on the ground. Kiara, what are your thoughts, and what were your thoughts when he went after Bubbles?
Just not surprised. He's just that type of person. He's there for all the wrong reasons, and anybody that's being a direct threat to that is going to get the wrath and the fury. So I wasn't surprised to see him do that. It's just showing his immaturity and that he's not on our side, because I've noticed people have conflict and they don't agree within the movement, but since we're all on the same side, we tend to work it out or take feedback from each other. But he was just blocking and ignoring and attacking.
I certainly agree with you there. I just don't know. I just know he's not safe downtown any longer, especially after what happened at the State House. I was actually there when everything went down on Saturday, and
so I'm not too familiar. That's why I've just been kind of listening to see if I could get more information about this person. I'm assuming that I know who you're talking about because I was out there one day and there was a guy that was getting a lot of pushback from the crowd, and people were. He was kind of outed. The only person I've ever really seen at any of the protests get ostracized by the, just kind of organically, you know, that wasn't wearing a badge. So I'm assuming we're talking about the same person. So you say he rode past and actually, so he was a person macing protesters? He was the guy doing it?
Multiple.
That's the theory.
yeah, that's the theory. Once Bubbles can get come back on here, he's still trying to get in. He was on that side of the street, so he can confirm it. I was on across the street by the Vaughn Tower, where the Huntington building is and all of that.
I don't know if you guys can hear me, but you're frozen. I'm sorry.
He came down, and I seen him saying some stuff to
We
other
can hear you.
protesters who were on the State House side. And after he was saying some stuff, protesters went after him, and he ran up behind the troopers. And so the troopers, they escorted him away, but the troopers basically told him, like, hey, look, we're tired of protecting you and things like this, and you've been causing a lot of drama for us and for them, and basically, if this happens again, we're going to have to arrest you. And I've never heard troopers talk like that, but that's what they said.
Wow. So how did he originally get spotted? How did people, like, originally start to suspect that this guy was kind of... Was that one of the first things that happened, or was it slowly? Yeah. How did that? What was the beginning of it, of his being questionable?
So it started. A bunch of people started noticing like erratic behavior in him, and particularly that he was running with Black Freedom. But there was a march, and I saw the video of it because somebody created like a video like montage of all this crazy stuff that he had been doing. And so there was at one point where he was running, and I think people were like criticizing him or something, and he ran up to the cop like asking for help, and then he murmured like all lives matter. And it was clear that he did that. So he's clearly not on our side. He's there filming for his own reasons, and that's why we need to let people know that everybody down there with a camera and everybody down there consistently is not sincere. Oh, it looks like Bubbles back to you.
Yeah.
Can you guys see me?
All right, yeah, so we were talking about what led up to Poisey asked the question was this past Saturday, or was it Sunday? The days are starting to blend together. I believe it was Saturday. We were down there. Was Wolf's first strike, so to say, and Kiara was explaining, no, it wasn't his first strike. He's actually then struck out the game so many times it's not funny. I believe that was like strike 5 or 6.
Before these protests started, he's been a problematic character in Columbus. Obviously, none of us were privy to it or knew who he was until his involvement in these protests. But different people related to him or who used to be friends with him or involved with him in different things have gotten wind of what he's doing during these protests and said, oh yeah, did you know that he posed once as a homeless person and filmed his experience because he thought it would be enlightening? Did you know that he's done this or that he has these criminal charges against him? He's a very polarizing person and consistently shows that he uses his platform for himself and not for any of the parties that get involved with him.
So this weekend would probably be a pretty important time to keep an eye on somebody like him when we have something like an alt-right rally at the same time and same location as a Black Lives Matter, or I think it's even Panthers that are kind of leading that rally. So that has a obviously I don't want to encourage it, obviously, but I think it's important to be aware of the opportunities for things to turn volatile, and this definitely has that recipe. And he's somebody that we should probably keep tabs on. Do you guys have a picture? Does anybody have a picture of him? That would be dope.
Yeah, we there is photos of him. We aren't going to share them here on this platform, this network, but I'll make sure you'll see a picture and footage after the show today before we leave the studio.
I definitely want to know how to look for on Saturday. I'll be in attendance.
Yeah, and the reason why we aren't going to share the photo is and the video footage is because it's widely available out there. If you go look on Bubbles' page, my page, I've shared it, Kiara's page in groups. It's out there, and there's no need for us to. We're talking about it, and we're letting you know all of the details and the facts and things like that here publicly. But there's no reason for us to add just to show his picture. We to put it like this, he's not safe being around downtown during the protests and things like this because of his actions, and I don't want to add fuel to that fire.
Well, but if he's coming down there and he's choosing to make other protesters unsafe, it sounds like he might be compromising the general safety.
True, but I don't want them to come back and say, "Hey, look, we said get his ass."
Well, we definitely didn't say that.
Yeah, we didn't.
Watch his ass, maybe.
Right? But yeah, so that's what we want you to do. We want you to keep a watch out for him and to notify somebody if he is down there, because he truly is not safe. And not only is he not safe, we as black people, black and brown men and women, and our white allies, they simply are not safe, because not only has he done all that stated there, but he's also showed video footage to the police on several occasions throughout this time. And so that it is what it is.
So yeah, Bubbles, I know we had talked a little bit. So what is it that you kind of want to accomplish? Because Devontae was talking about how you weren't looking to really monetize off of your videos and the work that you're doing out here. So what is it what's your intentions for being out there recording?
Hey, you have yourself muted, Bubbles, so we can't hear you talking. There you go.
Yeah, sorry. I'm having a little bit of an interruption. If you would repeat that for me, that'd be great.
We're having trouble hearing you, but what Quasi asks is, since you aren't looking to monetize off of any of the live streams you're putting out there and things like that, and the information that you're sharing, what is it that you're hoping to get from this whole experience and things like this, and how can independent outlets such as the Unbossed Network, Matter News, and other independent outlets out there help someone like you?
So, yeah, it's a really good question. What do I benefit from all of the things that I've been doing, or do I benefit, and why did I get involved in the first place? The first few days of these protests, I wasn't doing any of the stuff that I am doing now or have been doing. The first few days, I was just a body out there. I was a person in the protests. And then during the curfew march, there was another man who has been out, who was doing a bunch of live feeds that people benefited from and continuously watched. And during one of the curfew marches, he decided to leave the march, and there were no eyes. We didn't have a connection between people at home with resources, with cars, with listening to police scanners, to the people that were on the streets. And so one of my friends hit me up and said, "Hey, I know you're there. Would you go live?" And I went live, and everyone who was on that other live stream switched over to mine. and just started watching mine and started to connect and started to build up this network of resources that I'm now a part of. And it kind of grew into something that I couldn't really control myself, and I've taken a step backwards, but it really was fulfilling a need that the protesters needed. We need these live streams. Are you guys still listening to me?
Yes, we are. Keep going. Keep going. We want to hear your story.
I'm sorry. It just switched to just a full screen of myself, so I can't see you guys anymore. But that's okay. So then it's kind of it grew into this need. I mean, live streaming public events, especially protests, is important because a lot of people can connect through it, see what exactly is going on at the specific moment that they're looking at it. So there were medics that were looking at my live streams to see where they were needed. There were drivers of cars, evacuation cars, that got notified at the end of a protest march. The live feeds were edited down and used in certain people's criminal court cases and ongoing court cases. There are upcoming legal battles that the live video evidence will be used for. News organizations have used the live streams to show the public what's going on. And then just any call for support, if we need more people out there or if we need a specific resource like saline to wash mace and pepper spray out of people's eyes, that call gets sent out. So once I started, it was like, well, if I stop this, especially in the heat of things, then I'm doing a disservice. Now I don't really know what I want to do, so there's nothing you can really help me with. I quit my job to focus more on these protests. I'm not making any money from the protests. I'm making a lot of friends, and I guess you can say that social media weight is valuable these days, and I've gotten a lot of that. But other than that, next steps for me personally, I don't know.
So, hey, Bubbles, what I want you to do here is I want you to, if you got a Cash App name, which I'm pretty sure you do, everybody has Cash App these days, drop it in the comments and let's show Bubbles a little bit of love and support everybody for what he does. That's the least we can do, and Bubbles is out there day in and day out, longer than I am at times. I can get down there at 10 in the morning. Bubbles is down there. I'll leave at 1 or 2, and Bubbles is still down there in the trenches. And you all ask me, when do I sleep? But the real question is, when does Bubbles sleep? So I really do thank you for what you are doing. And I appreciate what you're doing and how you have allowed more and more people to see what's the injustices that are going on in Columbus. Because a lot of people, they think it's all good in the hood here in Columbus, and it's really not. There's some really awful stuff going on here, day in and day out, especially what happened last night, which is just unconscionable, leaving anybody, let alone an elderly woman, in a back of a police cruiser in handcuffs for over 2 hours, circling her around, and then taunting other protesters. Unquestionable. Any final thoughts from you or Kiara?
I do want to say thank you. I'm not going to put my Cash App or in the comments. If you want to help, I'm the last person who needs it. Donate to the Freedom Fund. Donate to any of the different organizations that are out here. I will make my own way. I've got a safety net. My family's amazing, and I'll be cool. I'll be good.
Just for everybody to be very safe and vigilant down there. I know things have the potential of getting tense on Saturday, so if you choose to go down there, just be aware, keep your eyes open, be safe, look out for each other, and just don't fall under the assumption that everybody down there is for or against you. So just stay woke.
Definitely stay woke, stay safe. And please, for the love of God, wear a damn mask, because you're protecting yourself and protecting everybody else that is down there. Thank you, too, for joining us. We'll have to have you back. Kiara, we'll have to have you back sometime soon to dispel and explain to us the difference in all these organizations, from the Millennial Movement to the Columbus Freedom Front, the Black Freedom, to I swear in the last 8 weeks, I love it, but there's like 10 different organizations. Who are they? What do they do? And we have to have that bigger conversation at some point soon.
I'm with it.
Sure.
All right.
Hey.
Thank you for watching the Unbought and Unbossed show. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, what's holding you back from smashing the subscribe button? Don't forget to hit the bell to get notified every time we post a new episode. Devontae will be back here every single weekday, breaking down the most important news stories to Black America. We'd love for you to share this episode with your friends and family. And remember, Black America, to keep it real because your conscience depends on it.